Welcome, Queens, to another episode. I have another special guest with me today. Her name is Jessica Perle. I'll read her bio to you. So Jessica, she's a mental health and wellbeing coach, and she focuses on burnout. She helps professional women in high-pressured careers to prevent and work through anxiety, stress, and burnout. She offers one-to-one coaching packages to help her clients go from burnout, overwhelm, anxious, to energetic, confident, and resilient. Her goal is to help women so that they don't end up in the desperate place that she once was. So work is much needed in the world. So welcome, Jessica.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. This is super exciting.
You're welcome. And the first time I've met Jessica is right now, to be honest, guys. And I literally feel like I've known you for a lifetime already. We're very similar in energy, I believe.
Yeah, I agree. Like when you've seen you on Instagram and the brief conversations that we've had, we definitely match.
I love it. Amazing. So I'm going to just ask you a few random questions to get to know you a little bit better, and for our listeners too. So before I ask you them, just share where do you live? How old are you, if you want to share that?
Yeah, that's fine. So I am currently in the Midlands in the UK, although anybody who is from the UK will be like, you do not sound like that. I'm from Manchester originally, hence the very northern, very broad accent. And I'm 30 years old. And the most important thing about me is that I have 4 cats. Yes, I am that crazy cat lady.
Oh, what are they all called?
I have Lily and Darcy, who are from the same litter. They're 14 years old. I have Luna, who is a British Blue, and she is just complete temperament of a British Blue. She is a queen and she knows it.
Diva.
Yes. And I have Aslan, who is a ginger Maine Coon, and he is just a big softie. He thinks he's hard, but he's not.
Oh, I love that. I mean, I'm an animal lover anyway, and I don't really have a preference. I mean, I have got a dog, but I just love how every single animal has a personality. Of course they do,
100%.
But yeah, it's great, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. So, first question, are you married?
I am not.
Are you single? I'm just being nosy now.
No, that's fine. Yes, I am single. I was nearly married once, but I escaped that one.
Yeah, good. I was almost married before and I also escaped. Not, to be fair, it was nothing to do with him. It just wasn't the right thing.
Yeah, I think this is going off topic now, but if I go back to then, it was very much I escaped him. But looking back, it wasn't the right thing for either of us. And I've done a lot of work since then and to realise actually we were both as bad as each other. So
yes, I love that. Self-awareness, owning your shit.
Yes.
Oh yeah. And do you have any children, or are you just a fur mom, fur baby?
I'm a fur baby mom. I do want children, but it's not happened yet, and I think that's good. I've still got a lot of things to do before I want to commit 100% to the children.
Yes. If you had a magic wand, what would you love to change about the world?
Oh, that's a really good one. I feel I needed prep for this one. There's so many things.
Yeah.
So my background, my degree is conservation. So I think it'd be conservation based. And especially after watching Seaspiracy recently. I don't know if that's too controversial for this, but
everything's welcome, always. I don't even know what it is, but everything's welcome.
Watch it on Netflix, you'll love it. Yeah, so that has been an eye-opener. So I think if I could wave a magic wand, it would be that everyone could see what we're doing to the planet and everyone could contribute to fix it. I don't want to fix it with the magic wand because I think without changing the mindset and the education behind it, then we're just going to end up in the same state.
So. Hell yes, I love that. It's like transformation with clients. Like I used to say, I genuinely used to believe when I first started coaching, and whenever I saw anyone in pain, I genuinely was like, I just want to fix you and take that pain away. But no, because the alchemy of the pain into your power is the whole point.
100%. That is your reason for making the change. Without that pain, you won't make the change.
Oh my God, I love this conversation already. I kind of know the answer to number 4 already. I'm going to ask it anyway because I planned it. Dogs or cats?
Cats. I love them both. I love all animals, but with my lifestyle, cats fit better. They're much more independent and they can just kind of come and go as they please. So that's better for me.
Yeah, can you imagine if there was like loads of dogs just like, I can see 2 cats now out my window. Imagine if there was loads of dogs just like in big dog flaps just wandering around. Like, how
Yeah.
funny would that be?
I know, that'd be mental.
Yeah, it could work. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
Sweet or savoury?
Savoury. I have like a real soft spot for crisp. Oh, I just love crisp.
I'm the opposite. Like, crisps are like, yeah, if they're in front of me, then of course I'll eat them. But I will physically sit there on the sofa and be like, I need to go and get chocolate now, and I'll get out of my pajamas into clothes, and that's how much I'm like, I need chocolate now.
That's me for crisp. That is 100% me for crisp. Like, there's a co-op around the corner, and I'll be like,
I love that opportunity. Like, I love that about my life now. Like, if I want it, I'll get it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I don't restrict myself. I've tried that. And like, I do sometimes go without stuff. So like in January, I did dry January, but that wasn't as a part of restricting alcohol. It was a part of, I've had quite a bit over Christmas. I feel a bit, bleh, let's just have a cleanse, but not a cleanse. And yeah, and then in February, I went no crisp just to see if I could do it. And I did it. And I was dead proud of myself. You notice how I chose the shortest month to do crisp.
Oh yeah, that's very smart. And I also love that your motivation for doing these things isn't from a place of, oh, I'm not good enough, I must lose weight. It's just like, oh, I really want to see if I can like challenge this for myself. I love that.
Yeah. I've been there, done that with the punishment, and no go.
It doesn't work.
No.
It just makes you feel shit about yourself, think you can't do anything, and think there's something wrong with you.
Yes, 100%. And no change is ever going to come from shame. That's something I have to teach my clients. Like, sorry, I'm going to swear now, but I swear a lot. Just bleep it out if you have to.
No, I also swear.
Excellent. You get further with sugar than shit. And like, so be nice to yourself. Don't give yourself a load of shit.
I love that saying. So I'm going to nick that. Well, borrow that. So you said you don't, there's no change with shame.
No, there's no change with shame.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that. Where was
it?
Number 6. Okay, this might put you on the spot a little bit because I bet you've got a lot. Favorite quote or mantra?
Oh,
sorry.
So a biggie for me currently, this is with my like current mindset and starting 2 new businesses, is the thing that I need to constantly remind myself is that it's safe for me to have money, because my money mindset has been so negative from a place of lack, and only those people can have money, and if you have money then you're an arsehole and you're selfish, and like money is the root of all evil. I've got all of that from being young and coming from like a council estate background, which I have zero shame for. Like that's my background. I'm very proud of it. And people who still live in that, like, great, it's amazing. But it does come with these kind of thoughts that aren't healthy. So for me at the minute, I am telling myself it is okay for me to have money. It doesn't make me a bad person. In fact, it gives me opportunities to help more people. So that at the minute is my current go-to if I need.
I love that. Do you follow, I think her name's Jenna Black on Instagram? Oh my gosh, I'm in her program Money Queen. I love the name, which is probably why the reason I joined. I was like, I'm joining just because of the name.
Just because it's got this. Just call me Queen every morning, I'm great.
Yeah, and I'm halfway through a program. It is what you're saying. It's about, removing and releasing all of the shit that we've been taught and what we believe. And then not just money mindset, like embodying, the queen within. And that's really good. So yeah, definitely follow her.
Just made a note, thank you.
And anyone else listening, if who doesn't want to upgrade their money situation in their life, it's not just doing your own business, it's abundance with all things, because we are pure abundance. And there you go.
Yeah, I love it.
I think I'm kind of like pre-guessing what you're going to say, because even I've just decided I know you in like 10 minutes.
Amazing.
The next question: relaxing or adventure holiday?
Adventure.
I knew you was going to say that because you're so like me, I think.
Like I will need a relax, but it'll be like half a day out of a week.
Yeah.
I want to see, I want to experience, I want to explore.
Oh
So, yeah.
God, yeah. My ideal holiday would be like, maybe, say if we're going in a week time scale, the first maybe 1 or 2 days relaxing, and then full like, okay, no, I need longer than a week, let's go 10 days. And then like maybe 5-6 days doing stuff, and then like 2 days to chill at the end.
Yes.
So that's 10 days.
Yeah, perfect. There you go. Ideal holiday sorted.
Go on, we just need to actually be able to travel. That would be helpful.
That would be very helpful.
Oh my days. Okay, cardio or weights?
Weights.
That was easy. You're not liking cardio?
Yeah, waking off.
It was like weights, drink. Right. Oh, 2 left. Who is your ideal client?
So I'm currently targeting women who were like me a couple of years ago. So basically constantly striving and wanting to do good, be good, and hit a goal. But they think it's because it's going to make them feel better. And I want to show them, actually, you can feel good right now, sweetheart. You do not need to hit that goal. And it was that led me to burnout, and then I kept pushing and pushing, so it led me to a breakdown and a whole horrible hole of hell. So yeah, that's my current target. But if I was to go generic, it would be people who are open to it. Like if you're open to change and you're open to life coaching and really looking at the hard thoughts, I ain't going to hold your hand because I can't. It's not going well. 1, it's COVID, and 2, I wouldn't help anyway. But yeah, if you're willing to do the work and you want the change and you want all these amazing things, you're my ideal client.
Hell yeah, I love that. And I'm so grateful that you did say yes, Jessica. But why did you say yes to coming on to my podcast and YouTube?
It was a whole body yes. It was the no wasn't an option. It was, I've seen your page. Yeah, I'd listened to your podcast and I was like, this woman's message is incredible. The work she's doing is fantastic. It's really needed in the world. How can I not want to be a part of that? So
thank you. And I'm so grateful that you're here. And I would love for you to share like the Jessica who you are now, who is forever growing and improving. And I get that about you. And you know, people that are tuning in are also on the same journey as us, just maybe at different points. So how have you got from where you are now to where you was? Like why are you a coach helping women?
Okay, wow, this is a story. So if I start from where I was engaged and I'd had my 3rd promotion within 3 years within teaching. I had my own house with my fiance. I had 3 cats at that point, and everything from the outside would have looked like this woman's got it all. Like, what's wrong with her? Why is she so down all the time? Why is she never happy? So yeah, constantly, like I said before, like trying to strive to get to that point of feeling better, because I was like, right, once I get this next promotion and this next pay rise, I'll feel fine, like, because money will be sorted and I'll have more respect within my job, so that'll be fine. Okay, well, maybe it's when I get my house, then I'll feel great. Oh, actually, no, maybe it's when I get my new car. I was always the next thing. My relationship was not healthy at all, and like I said before, it's from both sides. At the time, I was very much, I did take some of the responsibility, but not enough at all. And so yeah, that was becoming a big drain on my life and his life too. And it hit a point where I had just had enough, and I was like, I'm done. I'm just totally done. So I walked out. I went to my mum's, and I was sleeping on a toddler blow-up bed in my high school room.
Did you fit? Not that obviously this isn't about your size. A toddler blow-up bed. Did you fit
like this fetal position every night?
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah. So until we eventually got it sorted, because I was there for 6 months. And yeah, on that journey, at that point when I left, I thought that's it. I'm going to feel better now because I'm out of this situation. And I actually, within a couple of months, became very suicidal. And I hit a point where I was literally, it wasn't even, when you see it in the movies, it's like quite dramatic. And I know that can be the way it is. But for me, I was just sat reading a book. And it was Eleanor Oliphant is Absolutely Fine. Have you heard or read that?
No, but I will.
It's amazing book. Has some very difficult things to read through it. In fact, suicide is part of it. And I just sat there and I was like, I'm just going to do that. I'll end it all. And it wasn't dramatic. It wasn't anything. I was crying, but I was like, I wasn't like all over the place. I was just completely calm in my upset. And then my mum came on. She was like, what's wrong? I was like, I'm just going to end it all. Like, I'm just done. My mum was like, okay, let's take you to the doctors. So my mum was incredibly supportive. My friends were really supportive. Doctors put me on a very high dose of medication where I actually thought I was going to die. My reaction was so bad. I was like shaking mess.
I've heard that. Yeah.
Oh, horrific. But so glad I did it. I'm now off the medication 2 years later. I'm very proud of myself for that. But it's all come through the thought work. Yes, the medication got me to, because I was in such a bad place, it got me to a point where I could do the work. But it was the thought work that I had to do. I had to address a lot of things to get to where I am now, which is much more open, much more accepting. I don't resist negative. I don't like it because I don't like, who likes the negative emotions, but I accept that they are part of the human experience. And actually, if I'm watching a film and an animal dies, I'm going to cry because that's the kind of person I am. Like, yeah. And just totally embracing that part of me rather than shoving it down and not welcoming it. And now, like I said, back then I was constantly tired. I didn't have any energy to get through the day. I was having panic attacks and wasn't sleeping, was having horrific nightmares. And now I've got my full-time job as a teacher, which is incredibly like stressful. And I've also got 2 businesses that I'm running, and I am so happy. I'm full of energy, and that all comes from my mindset. Like, that's the only thing that's changed. So yeah.
Wow, there's
sorry, that's quite a mouthful.
No, I love it, and there's loads of nuggets I want to touch on. So the first thing I would like to ask you about is the "I'll be happy when," which and I've got a cold shiver, which means spirit is talking to me. So if that's too woo-woo for any of you listening, then it's all good.
No.
Doesn't mean anything weird.
Truth bombs.
And "I'll be happy when" was one of my favorite sayings. But and like you've very, openly shared, you're not actually happy when you get there because there's always something else. I would like you to discuss that. Like, why do you think we do that? And then what caused you to actually be like, wait a minute, this isn't serving me? Like, what woke you up to that?
So I think as human beings, we do it because we are in a society which is very much, here, buy this will fix your life. Here, have this. Look at how amazing their life is. Like, the advertisements are so clever, and they have like trained psychologists to tap into that. Again, if you've never seen Social Dilemma, you need to watch it because that is 100% how social media can be negative, and that has helped me with my social media use because I was actually off social media for 6 years because I couldn't handle it. I just couldn't handle it up until like August last year. So yeah, that's incredible, and it shows you the psychology behind it. And I think if anyone wants to know a little bit more about actually why am I always wanting to buy this and do that and whatever, that is a really good way to get the psychology behind it. Another thing is that it's a buffering mechanism. It's a way of focusing your attention on something external rather than addressing what is going on internally. And I was so guilty of that. And at first, when I acknowledged this, I shamed myself a lot for this. And I was like, why am I like this? Why do I go and buy a new dress? My thing was dresses and shoes. And I was like, why do I always go and buy a new dress when I feel like shit? Why am I doing this? This is such a bad thing. I'm being such a consumer. Whereas now I'm like, oh, bless me. Like, that's what I felt like I had to do to feel better about myself. How great is it that now I can just choose to feel better about myself? And if I want to buy the dress, I'm buying the dress because that's what I want to do. I'm not doing it out of a need to feel something, because as human beings, that's all we ever want. We just want to feel something. And yeah, so that is generally what buying and consumerism is doing. It's filling that hole, but it easily evaporates.
Oh wow, that is so freaking powerful, Jessica. I love the language that you use and the way you describe it. And my thing was food and sex and the gym. So I was like, okay, well, I'll be happy when I get this amazing boyfriend and the sex is great. I'll be happy when, you know, I lose 20 pounds. And then I lost 20 pounds. I was like, oh, I'll be happy when my ass is now round, like I'll be happy when I've got, and I literally, it's a never ending cycle. And I remember my mum bought me, and I've got it downstairs and I understand it now. She bought me a plaque that said, happiness isn't a destination, it's a way of life. And when she bought me that, it annoyed the hell out of me, because I was like, well, what does that mean? Like, something inside was very offended by that statement, because I, knowing now, like knowing myself, and after all this work I've done and continue to do, I believe that something inside of me desperately wanted to be happy, which was also annoying that I couldn't be. And then also the other part of me knew that the saying was right, but I didn't want to believe it or even look at anything inward, because I wanted to try and find it externally. You have to be ready to.
Absolutely, you do have to be ready to do this work, because it is very confronting, and you do go through a part where you judge yourself, because you start seeing all these things, and doing that about yourself is really difficult, like really, really difficult. So yeah, when I say doing the nitty-gritty, doing the hard work, that is what I mean. You've got to look within and see not what you're doing, but why are you doing it. That's the most important thing.
Hell yeah, it's always the why. And I'm 99.9% sure you've heard of the be, do, have model. Can you elaborate on what that means? Because when I try and describe it, I get all muddled up. So go ahead.
So I can give my interpretation of the be, do, have. So you need to be the person that will have all those. So for me, it's I want to have a wellbeing empire. I've changed my language. It used to be life coaching business. Now it's a wellbeing empire. Like, I am going big. Like, I'll go home. That's my motto. So I need to show up. I need to act as a person who has a wellbeing empire already, because how else am I going to get there? I need to do the things that a entrepreneur with a wellbeing empire would do, and then I will have it. That's my interpretation of it. You need to be that person, then you can do the actions, then you can have it. You don't have it and then do the actions and then be it. It doesn't work.
That's what most people do. They think, I don't know, an easier explanation for my brain to work it out is like a relationship. So say if someone's really wanting to find the one, and you know, it's easy for me to say because I found the one, so I understand that I'm sat in a position with the love of my life. But say if someone's like really wanting to find that one, and then they think that when they have the relationship, then they'll be happy. But it's actually the opposite. So like, even though it's kind of really difficult, and again, the inner work, the shadow work, whatever you want to call it, how can you be happy now? And then you will have the relationship, because it all starts with self, like self-love, self-care, self-acceptance. All of the things start with self, and then it's a hard pill to swallow sometimes.
Absolutely. And if you don't mind, I'd just like to touch on relationships. Obviously, I'm single, and last year I was dating somebody, and I thought he was perfect for me. Like, he was absolutely perfect, and I still do, because I think he's an amazing human being. But he wanted to go away and do some work. Like, us dating had identified to him what he needed to fix for himself. So he was like wanting to go away and do that. Now, at the time, I was like devastated. I was like, how can you do that? Like, why can't you just do it with me? And now looking back, I am so grateful to him for not dragging me through his shit. Like, thank you so much for having the respect of me to let me go so you can go and do your work. If we meet again in the future, amazing. If we don't, I had a great time and I've learned amazing things. So yeah, I think having that insight into yourself, that you have to be in the place before you can't put that on somebody else. So expecting somebody else to make you happy, expecting somebody else to love you when you don't love yourself, like,
Yes.
why would they do that?
Hell yes. And by the way, sorry, that the guy next door decided to drill the wall. I was like, where's my mute button?
Did you see me stutter? I was like,
yes. Like, right, okay, I can do this. I'm going to mute, turn you up. I could hear you, but thankfully the minute has stopped. So I apologise if it happens again, but
that's right, don't worry.
Going. I love what you said, because we want someone to make us happy. And Will Smith quoted something last year, and I can't remember the exact quote, and I really live by this now. Like, my fiance doesn't make me happy. My dog doesn't make me happy. My lifestyle doesn't make me happy. I'm happy first, and then I receive joy from all of these things.
Yeah, because you can be happy together.
Yes, that's it. So it's not like, he makes me happy. And, the language we use, we do say it a lot. And I still say it like, oh, you make me so happy. Mm-hmm. But actually, that's not the truth, because if I wasn't happy within, I wouldn't be able to feel that happiness to a core level. Mm-hmm. And it's the same with self-love. Like, I believe that we can only receive the love from others to the detriment that we love ourselves. So yes, we, if we love ourselves, like, I don't know, let's say 80%, and you've got your mum, your dad, all your friends, your fiance, whatever, and they love you like 100%, you can only feel that 80% because you only love yourself 80%.
Yeah.
And once I got my head around that, that's why, like, I mean, people know my story. I've been all different shapes and sizes, but self-love is everything.
Oh, yes.
How does that fit in with what you teach, self-love?
So in terms of what I teach, 100%, that is what we work with. So the kind of coaching I do is called Causal Coaching. So we don't, it's like saying, oh my God, my arm is really, really sore. Right, okay, let's take a painkiller for it. That is like covering it up. That's the buffering. But then going, oh my God, my arm is really sore. Oh, it's because it's fucking broken. Like, let's put a cast on it. Let's put it back into place. That's what I do. I find the cause. And then it doesn't matter what the symptoms are, because they will disappear once we fix that cause. We've got to the root, and the root is always a thought. Always.
Yeah, because thoughts are things.
Mm-hmm.
End of. The thought, through the thought model. I mean, I bang on about this all the time. Thoughts, feelings, action or non-action, result, reality.
Yes, that is literally what I take my clients through on every single session. We look at, right, okay, tell me what's happened. Right, okay, and what was your thought about it? How did you feel? What actions? Your result? You're just proving you thought right. Like that. Yes. That's always the cycle.
The feedback loop.
Yes.
And I coach myself through this at least a few times a week.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're not perfect. And yes, it does get a lot easier. I mean, yourself, the more you do this work, the more you kind of like, oh, that was a really shitty negative thought. Let's replace that. The more you do that, it comes a lot quicker. But sometimes I'm like, why do I feel shit? Oh, because my last 10 thoughts have been like shitty thoughts. Okay, and I'm like, right, pen and paper, situation, thought, feeling, action, result. And then I do have you heard of the Abraham Hicks?
Hicks.
Oh, yeah,
I
love him too. Have you done the wheel of, what does he call it? The wheel of emotion.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I do that with my clients a lot as well, because it really helps, like, and I don't want to do too much talking, but we're just bouncing off each other.
No, go, it's great.
Can you give us an example of, I mean, obviously without naming names, but even an example of yourself, like a thought that's like really not serving someone, and how you would go through that process with them?
Okay, so for me, my biggest one, I do have clients, but I've not asked them for permission to share stories, so I'll just go with myself, if that's okay. So yeah, my biggest one was, I how I looked. I absolutely detested myself. I thought I was fat, overweight, disgusting. My face was horrid. Everything you could think of that was negative, I thought it about myself. I just absolutely loathed myself. To the point where I saved up to have liposuction.
Wow.
Thought that would be the cure. Had the liposuction.
Oh, you had it?
Had it.
Wow.
When I was all healed, looked in the mirror and I was like, I'm still fat. What the fuck is going on? Why have I just spent $4,500 to still be fat? And now when I look back, I was never fat. If you saw a before and after picture of me, I was never fat. I wasn't ripped like all these people that I was aspiring to be like, but partly I wasn't doing the work to be ripped. I didn't have the time to be ripped. And I probably don't have the DNA. If I look at family, like I've got paternal side, I've got an Irish grandmother who is 5 foot and probably the same width. So like, I've got those genes. And then on the other side, to be fair, actually the other side is pretty lanky, but I'm definitely the Irish side, as you can see. So yeah, now looking back, that was the biggest wake-up call for me, that actually this is all about your thoughts. It's not about what's going on outside, because look, I've just had apparently like 2.5 liters of fat sucked out of me, and I look no different.
Wow.
So it was a very expensive lesson to learn, but I'm glad I learned it. And basically the easiest way that I do it is what I call a thought ladder or a thought bridge or anything like that. And it's basically starting at where you are. So mine was I hate my body, and I want to get to I love my body. I'm still on this journey. I do not look in the mirror and go, oh my god, I'm awesome, I look great. Like, that is still not happening. I am on this journey. So it's then I can't jump from I love my body to I hate my body to I love my body, because my brain goes, well, you fucking don't. Like, it knows I'm lying. Yeah. This is where affirmations are amazing if you know how to use them. So that is what I've been using. I've been using affirmations, but not in a I love my body, it's gorgeous, it's this, it's that, it's the other, because I'm not at that stage. So I went to I hate my body to I don't like my body, because it's a vibrational improvement, but it's not huge. Yeah. Then I went to this is a human body, it has human functions, so that's pretty neutral. Yeah. And then I started finding things about my body that I liked. So I like my ginger hair. In fact, I love my ginger hair.
I love your ginger hair. Love it.
I used to hate it as a kid because I got bullied for it, and I dyed it black. I tried to dye it blonde and it just went wrong. I tried to dye it purple and it went like petrol coloured.
Oh God.
Like, honestly, I've been everywhere. Now I'm like, I make it ginger-er. Like, if that's is that a word? It's a word now.
We're using it. We're going with it.
So yeah, it's that's the journey that you need to be on. You can't just go, right, this is where I want to be, so I'm just going to keep telling myself that, because your body and your mind will completely reject it and it will not work. And that is why I think people don't use affirmations. They're like, that's woo-woo shit. But it's not. It works so well when you know the science behind it, when you know how your brain works and why it is. The reason that my brain was constantly going to I hate myself is because I had created this groove, this path in my brain that had at one point served me. For whatever reason, it served me. And that's the path it constantly did. So to then go to a different path, I had to use my prefrontal cortex, and it didn't want to use that because that uses up energy in our brains. Don't like using up energy. So it's making sure that you are making the change, but it's not too far out there.
Yes.
Quite a long-winded answer. I apologize.
It was a brilliant answer, and I use the same technique because there's also one that I use that I learned from the amazing Kayla Anderson. Again, anyone following her, she's a soul sister. She's in New Zealand. I met her once. She taught me there's two things. Why affirmations, and then I don't believe it's come from me. I mean, this must have been done before. And then a what if affirmation. So we say that our client, someone's got to neutral. So they've gone from, let's use body image, that's a great example, like I hate my body, like I can't look at it, to I don't like my body, to I have a body. So that's neutrality, which the vibrations are raised a little bit to I hate my body. And so if saying something like, my body's kind of okay is still too much of a, well, I don't believe that at all. There's two things we can try. So one is what if I actually liked my body? So you're not, your subconscious mind is more receptive to that, because you're not saying that you do. And it's just being like, well, you obviously don't. So stop lying, bitch. Like, bring humor into it. But like, okay, so what if I loved my body? Or why do I want to love my body? So just asking those questions. I mean, you know,
so
how
powerful.
the RAS works. You're going to go about your day, and because your unconscious mind is like a slave to you but doesn't process negatives, it will be doing a little work like, oh, yes, why do you want to love your body? Or what if you loved your body or liked your body, whatever you want to use? Like, it will very slowly start finding things to help you feel a little bit more accepting of your body. And this process takes time, and I used to want everything yesterday, like right now or yesterday, else I'm not doing, like, I'm not happy.
Why am I not seeing results now?
Yeah.
It's like, been to the gym, did a few sit-ups.
Yeah, where's my abs?
Yeah.
Done. Mic drop. Just, this doesn't work. Oh my God, I love that. And if we can bring humor into it, which me and you are very like, we can laugh at ourselves, and and that's not saying that we're not allowing ourselves to feel sad or to feel shit, it's not all a laughing matter. But I have honestly found, when I'm in my thoughts, and then I've, like I said to you, I notice, oh, I wonder why I'm feeling shit. Oh, because I've had and then I can just laugh at myself. And Tony Robbins shared something that I found really powerful. Like, say if you notice in your head, like, oh, I can't do it, or I'm not good enough. And it's usually a voice of maybe a parent or whatever from your childhood. Tony Robbins says to like say it in like a really humorous, silly voice.
Stupid voice, yeah.
And it makes it less powerful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's great. Great tips. I love it.
I love them. And one thing I want to pick up on what you said is, hold on, let me just bring it back. Where's it gone? Oh yeah, when you had the liposuction and you were looking at your before and after, and you were like, oh my God, I still feel like I look fat. This just shows the power of the mind, doesn't it? Because everyone listening, I'm sure you understand what I'm going to say. When your time hop comes up, or your Facebook 2 years ago comes up, and you see a photo and you think, well, I wish I looked like that now. But at the time you were like horrified at the way you looked. Like, I posted something yesterday, and it's so funny because, go and check it out. And I don't know why I'm pointing a lip balm at you right now, but I'm just fiddling with something. Check the video out if you listen to the podcast. It's quite funny. Something came on my post that I posted yesterday. There's a picture of the first video of me stood in like a bathroom, like almost like an after photo of a whatever.
Yes, I've seen it.
That was my
incredible
photo. That was a before photo, because I thought I was fat and I was really miserable, and I invested in a 12-week transformation program. And I remember sending those pictures to the guy, and he replied and he said, you're actually very lean already. And I was literally like, what? No, like, I was so fucking confused, because I went to this fitness person because they know what they're talking about. He was shredded. So I did, because body dysmorphia is real. And when he said you're actually really lean already, I was so confused. And I was like, he's lying then as well. And I couldn't
look at how powerful that is. You've gone to an expert, and you, I'm guessing as a non-expert at the time, were like, fuck off. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I didn't.
Like, how powerful is that?
So powerful, and it just shows how far we've come. So, and I want you now to talk. God, the time goes so fast. Let's go for another 10, 15 minutes. Can you give our listeners some tips on, like, if they're, I mean, I'll leave the floor to you, but if they're kind of in a place in their life that they're not happy with in any area, like, what would you suggest that they do?
First thing is doing thought downloads. So taking that time, like you said, you notice when your thoughts are going a bit awry and not doing what you want them to do. And that comes with practice. I think to start with, you have to set intentional time to go, right, okay, what thoughts are in my head? And I always say this to my clients, be prepared to go blank. Because your brain's like, whoa, why are you looking at me? Stop it. Like, it doesn't like it. So just give it a minute. And if you are still getting blank, just write down blank, or I have no thoughts. And that just gets your brain feeling comfortable about, all right, okay, now we're writing, we can do writing, I can do that. So that would be my first thing to do. Just be really observant. 2 minutes every day is enough to find a pattern. And my pattern turned out was that I'm not good enough. And that was my core belief that I had to work on. And I've done so much work on it. Again, still working on it. But that would be my starting point if you are completely new to this. Now, if you have started doing the work, and I did coach somebody yesterday, and she's very much in the middle of all this, and she's almost feeling a little bit overwhelmed by it, and almost like she knows too much. That's the breaking point. That's the tipping point where you're either going to tip and you're going to go through it and you're going to do the work, or you're going to fall back and go, no, I can't do this. This is too hard. So lean into it. If it feels uncomfortable, lean into it, because that is exactly where you need to do the work. So that would be the two big things for me. Starting point, and if you're in the middle. If you can't afford a life coach, 100% recommend them. Although you can do it without, of course. Like, you can go to the gym without a PT and get amazing results, but if you have a PT, you might just get them a little bit faster. That's the way I usually do a comparison if you've never done a life coaching session before. Most life coaches do free sessions to start with, so you can trial it and you can get loads of tips from that. I do a lot of free sessions with my clients first, and then I won't hear off them for months, and then they might come back to me for something. And generally you'll find life coaches, because we are here to help. We give so many free things. We just want to help. So yeah, that would be my tips, I think. Have I covered that?
Yeah, I love that. And like you say, it's comparing it to a personal trainer and the gym. I mean, I'm sure you do as well, Jess, but I have a coach, and my coach has a coach, because no one needs a coach, but oh my gosh, if you want like a fast, I mean, I don't want to be like a fast track to success, like a bullshit marketing, but on a serious note, if you have that support, accountability, someone who actually gets it, like obviously I'm an expert in food and body image because I've fucking been there, I've been through all of that stuff. So when someone's describing, I feel this, and I'm kind of like, oh, I know how you feel, and I'm holding space for you right now, and this is exactly what you can do to be where I am now. And again, I'm always growing, there's always the next level. But reach out.
It's about not making the mistakes, isn't it? Because as much as we learn from our mistakes, sometimes we don't need that lesson. We can just be told it. And that is where your life coach, your PT, whatever, that's where they come in. They go, this is the lesson you need to learn from this. I learned it the hard way. Here you go.
Yeah. And also the belief, like, I believe in my clients before they believe in themselves. And that is so freaking powerful. And one of my bullet points, actually, and they always go, is like, I mean, if someone comes to you and they're like, okay, what, you have the conversation, you get to know them, are you a match? What does it look like to work together? And then you get however much coaching calls, whatever, every coach is different. One of mine is cocooned in my love 24/7. And that's huge.
Yeah, absolutely. And I couldn't work with a client that I don't love. Yeah. Because like if it isn't a vibrational match, then I won't just do it for the sake of it or for the money or for whatever. I will say, look, I don't think this is a match. I think you need to go to somebody who is more aligned to you. And I think every good coach will do that, because as a coach, we want the best for everybody. And we also want what's best for us and our mental health. It's a case of protecting ourselves as well. So for anybody out there who is in the service industry, remember, you need to look after your own self first. So saying no doesn't make you a bad person, doesn't mean that you're doing anything wrong or rejecting or whatever. Sometimes that is the best self-care you can do.
Yeah, 100%. And I want to share a bit of a story. Like she's actually my coach now, but originally when I first had the intake call with her, and she's great, she's amazing, Shanae Momoko, if anyone wants to look her up, she's Shanae Momoko, so CHANEE MOMOKO, you'll find that. And I had an intake call with her, and I wanted to work with her, and it was 6 months container. Obviously I won't tell the investment, that's none of my business to tell, but it was a 6 month container, and the investment was big. I knew it would be, but you know, and then I went away to think about it, and I was like, I only really, my soul's calling for 3 months. And then she said, why is that? And I said, because I know myself, if I've got that support, I'm investing in myself, I'm going to show the fuck up to everything that we're doing. And she actually replied and said, and it made me respect her even more. She said, I'm sticking with my integrity of my 6-month container. So she could have got a lot of money for 3 months I'm going to be her ideal client, and to stick with the integrity for herself and the way she likes to coach her clients, she said no. And I was like, wow, I've also learned, I didn't go with the 3 months in to begin with because it wasn't aligned then, but how powerful is that?
Huge. That is so huge. And it shows you as well that she's done the work. Like, you can trust in her because she's obviously doing the work. Somebody who's not doing the work would be grasping and be like, oh yeah, okay, so I'll edit it for you then. Like, there's a difference between having a variety and being flexible and giving into every whim and will and wish because you haven't got the confidence behind you.
Exactly. And before we end it, and so you can share where they can find you, can you give one quick example of, again, using no names, or you can even like make the example if you're not wanting to use a specific client, but from where someone would come to you with an issue or a problem, and then how they would leave your coaching. So the transformation typically.
Okay, so generally they come to me quite confused, feeling stuck, knowing that something's not right, but they don't know why because they've tried all these things and they're not working. And I take them through showing them their thoughts and look, this is the consequence of this, this is the consequence of this. We do a big goal setting session to say, right, this is your start point. Where do you want to be by the end of the generally 6 months? I work again because that's when I see the most transformations. 6 months, where do you want to be? And it's almost like the thought ladder, but bigger, much bigger. It's like, right, okay, so this is the journey I'm going to take you on. Along that journey, we have lots of little wins, some big wins. We also have some absolute disasters, but that again is where you fail. You learn where you fail. So I will try and protect you as much as I can, but I also want you to grow. So I want it to be that at the end of those 6 months, you don't need a life coach because you have gone through the transformation. You can do it yourself. Yes, I'm kind of putting myself out of business, but yeah, that is where they end up. So a big one, a huge transformation was somebody who I've known most of my life, and they were constantly asking for reassurance of other people, but not in an obvious way. It was just kind of, oh, what do you think? That kind of thing. And I pointed out, I was like, why do you keep asking everybody else's opinion? And I was like, why are you looking, even on like social media, going, well, they've got this situation, so it must be okay, kind of thing. And I was like, why are you constantly doing that? Why are you looking for external validation? Like, why can't you validate yourself? And the light bulb moment for her was huge. She was like, literally, I don't remember the last time I made a decision without asking somebody else's input.
Wow.
So, and that affected all areas of her life, from finding the one for her, which obviously a big thing, to what she was going to have for a tea. Yeah. Like, she was like, today, she went, I rang my mum to ask her what to have for my tea. She was like, she doesn't give a shit. She was like, I'm 30 years old. My mum doesn't care what I'm having for my tea anymore. So yeah, that was a big thing. And it's so funny because how we do one thing is how we do everything. Yeah. And we don't see it until someone goes, yeah. And like, honestly, that was a huge transformation. And she's still on that journey. And I still get messages going, what do you think about this? And I'll be like,
ask yourself, what do you think about that?
Exactly. But then I'll also get the amazing messages where it'll be, I've not asked anybody's opinion this week, and I've done this, and this, and I feel so good about myself. And it's that lights me up. It's great.
That's amazing. I used to ask my mum everything. I wasn't even aware of it. I was like, well, that's just what you do. I was like, Mum, what do you think of this? I'm just going to call my mum, what do you think of this? Which is, you know, we have a great loving relationship and we're very close. We still are, even though I'm in the Netherlands and she's in the UK. We're Zooming all the time. I couldn't And then it went to my fiance, what do you think about this? But now when I go to do it, I'm like, doesn't really matter. I mean, of course I care about people's opinions who I love. I don't care about Tom, Dick and Harry's opinion, because that's just like too energy, no thanks. But like, all that matters, what do you think? What do you care about? And it's practice, isn't it?
Yeah, and knowing your why. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing anything?
Yeah, because people don't trust themselves, so they need an external to be a reassurance. But actually, practice, like Jess says, practice making decisions, even from what am I going to have for my dinner, what am I going to have for my tea, what colour top shall I buy, and then little baby steps, and then all of a sudden you'll be like, fuck this, I'm starting my own business.
Yes. Yes, if I listened to everybody around me, I would not be on this podcast right now. I would not have co-authored a book. I wouldn't have done all these amazing things, because I would have stayed small. Yeah. Because I would have been listening to people who were really well-intentioned, trying to protect me, but it wouldn't have served me. So yeah.
Oh yeah, my mum, as much as I love her to bits, recommended, I don't know if recommend is the right word, not to start my own business, because you don't get, you know, what if you don't get paid each month? Yeah, at the beginning I had months where I didn't get fuck all, and I was putting hours into it, but my heart and soul's in this. So yeah. And money is just energy, and it flows magically to me from known and unknown sources every fucking day. Jessica, where can people find you? Obviously I'm going to link everything as always anyway in the show notes, but where can people find you? Where can they Facebook stalk you or whatever?
Well, I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I have a website. However, I am mainly active on Instagram. So if you want to get to me, that is where I post daily. I'm constantly interacting with people on there, and it is a bit of a mouthful. J_P_life_coaching.
I'll link it below.
Amazing. But yeah, and I'll send you the details for Facebook and my website if people would prefer to go that way. But yeah, Instagram is the way to go to find me pretty much straight away.
That's where I found her, on the old IG. I slid into her DMs, didn't I?
You did. You did.
Oh, I absolutely adore you.
And you.
Friendship for life, I believe.
Absolutely.
But thank you so much for being on. Thank you for your energy and your love and your wisdom. It's 11:11 my time, which is an angel number, as you know. And you've just been incredible. And the time is just completely...
I can't believe how quickly that's gone.
I mean, flew, which shows time flies when you're having fun, you know, when you're in your flow.
It does.
But thank you, on a serious note, thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for your time. I love you to bits. And yeah, I will be speaking to you very soon.
Yes, and can I just say thank you so much for your work. It is incredible. Like, you are doing so much good, and you're doing so much, like, you're helping so many people. It's lovely. I adore you. Mwah. Thank you.
I adore you too. And anyone listening, because I'm forgetting that this is not a private conversation right now. Thank you.
Not?
No, we're still on. I like to be, you know, authentic, but thank you to those listening. Thank you to those watching. Reach out to Jessica, reach out to me if you need help, comment below. Tag us, screenshot us, tag us. What hashtag shall we use? Mindset?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Hashtag mindset, and tag me and Jessica in, and we will reshare. And
yes,
we actually love you and we actually care, because everyone means something to us. So
100%.
Thank you so much.
And thank you.
Bye for now, and we will speak very soon. Mwah. Bye.